Welcome inside the Broncos studio following day 9 of Broncos Camp. I'm your host and team reporter, Elisa Hernandez, next to our lead writer on DenverBroncos.com, Aric DiLalla. The Broncos had a ramp-up day on Monday, which head coach Sean Payton mentioned focused a lot on 2-minute drills. How have you seen this team responding to that work?
Yeah, I thought it was a good day of work. They weren't in full pads as we kind of get back to practice. An off day on Sunday after 6 consecutive days on the field for the Broncos. I think it continues to be competitive work for this team. You see the defense make some plays. You see the offense kind of come right back and make some plays. The situation they worked on Monday was kind of an end of half scenario, trailing and seeing, can you get a field goal, maybe a touchdown? And for the first team offense to be able to move down the field and get some points, I thought was encouraging against this defense that we've seen make plays day after day. But yeah, I think that we'll continue to see those sorts of situations play out, whether it's in joint practice on Thursday against the Niners, in the preseason game. We heard Sean Payton say that guys are going to play in this game. So, you know, if there was any question about if Sean Payton's going to play starters like he's done the last 2 years, there shouldn't be. Like that's the way that Sean Payton runs a program, and we've seen it pay dividends. So, yeah, the situational football continued on Monday, and there were some big plays.
Yeah, and a lot of guys stood out. The big part of it was, like you said, the back and forth. You know, the defense had a good play, they'd celebrate, and then the offense would respond back in a very positive way. Jaleel McLaughlin making a few plays today. Who stood out to you?
Yeah, well, I thought Justin Strnad made a really athletic interception of Bo Nix in team period work. It's worth noting that there may have been an offsides penalty on the defense on that play, so hard to tell if it would have counted in game action, but Sean Payton kind of joked that people are out there charting interceptions like we're charting hurricanes, and that Bo Nix is doing just fine. Devin Key had an interception during 7-on-7 work, but then you see Bo Nix, you know, make a completion to Evan Ingram. He's moving the ball down the field to Nate Adkins in kind of that 2-minute work, finding Cortland Sutton down the seam. So he's still making plays, making these tight window throws. And as Sean Payton said, he's light years ahead of where he was a year ago in terms of Bo Nix. But a couple other plays that stood out. You saw Jarrett Stidham go deep to Pat Bryant. He beat the defender in coverage and was wide open for a 65, 70-yard touchdown. And then another one worth mentioning, Sam Ehlinger finds Courtney Jackson really deep for a touchdown, the undrafted rookie hauling it in. And we heard Sean Payton talk after practice about Ehlinger's athleticism, his ability to make plays outside of the pocket, and then just kind of the moxie that he has, that sometimes the moment's a little big for quarterbacks, and he doesn't see that from Sam Ehlinger.
Well, the Broncos will have a joint practice with the San Francisco 49ers later this week. What can you learn from those kind of practices?
Well, I think last year you saw it with the Green Bay Packers, right? After the Broncos faced the Packers here in Denver, you kind of heard a shift a little bit, and then later in the season, guys pointed to that practice as kind of the signal that they could do something, that they could make a run at the postseason. It was obviously a team that finished the 2023 season strong, and then the way the Broncos defense performed against Jordan Love, the way the offense was able to find some success, you saw Bo Nix kind of make a stride in that practice. So I do think when you go against another team, you start to be able to tell kind of what you got. And obviously a tough year last season for the 49ers. They had some injuries that they dealt with, but traditionally under Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, their GM, they've been in the playoffs year in and year out. And so I think this should be a good indicator of kind of where the Broncos stand. The 49ers have playmakers on both sides of the ball, and obviously the Broncos have talked about their aspirations for this season. I think Thursday you'll kind of get a sense of where they stand, and I'm excited to see them go head-to-head with these guys.
Well, training camp goes on the road, but not just yet. The Broncos have another open practice before that takes place on Thursday, and we have you covered with all the latest on DenverBroncos.com.